What is going on today? AU here, and today I'm actually pushing out a video to you guys a little bit differently now. I did miss Wednesday this week, but we got some big news, and by big news I mean like huge news in the Pokemon VGC community. Now, everyone knows that Home dropped. When did it drop? It dropped yesterday, so I guess it dropped on Wednesday. And it brought things like Incineroar, Primarina, Decidueye, Darmanitan, Weezing, like the regular forms of those two. I brought Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Persian, a bunch of new Pokemon, and I did a video yesterday, if you're seeing this on Friday, I did a video yesterday of what I thought was going to come to the meta that was going to kind of shake things up a little bit. Now, if you didn't see that video, I'm going to link it right up here in a card at the top right. Just click on it there if you want to see that video. But we actually have some changes on what I think is going to shake the meta up a little bit. Now, my layout is a little bit different. I don't have a layout for when I'm using like Twitter and stuff for like reporting things, but I just try to make it a little bit bigger so you guys could see it. But right here we have a post from the official Play Pokemon Twitter, and right here it just says update to the official competitive rules. Regional forms that were not available prior to Pokemon Home, like Alolan Ninetales, are currently not permitted in the official competition. You'll be unable to lock a battle team containing these forms until Series 3. Right, so this is saying Pokemon like regular Darmanitan, regular Weezing, Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Persian, any of those, even if they are bred in Galar, can't be locked in a battle box. But they said until Series 3, so then they came out with this tweet right here, and they said, on March 1st, Series 3 will open, and the following Pokemon will become legal provided they have a Galar symbol, meaning you have to breed them in the game. All available regional forms, including Galarian Slowpoke, so that means Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Persian. If you can breed regular Darmanitan, you can breed regular Weezing, those become legal. It also says Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Rowlet, Litten, Popplio, and their evolutions. So right here, we get Blastoise with Shell Smash. We get Incineroars coming back to VGC. Like, they're not only talking about the online ladder. Whenever I first read this, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not practicing VGC 2020 on the ladder anymore. But no, these Pokemon are coming to VGC 2020. So you have Chlorophyll Venusaur with Sleep Powder, Shell Smash Blastoise now. You get Incineroar with Fake Out, Parting Shot, U-Turn, Intimidate, like, it's just crazy. And then they said more Gigantamax Pokemon to be announced. So that's probably the Gigantamax Lapras and that big chunk of Gigantamax that haven't been released yet. And then they also came out with a third tweet. It says, note that events spanning multiple days, such as regional championships, will use the format that was in the live on the first day of the event throughout the main tournament. The VG rules and formats documentation will be updated in the coming days with all this information. So that means that the international event that is going on online is going to be using Series 2. So Incineroar and all that's not going to be legal in the online competition. Also Collinsville, anything up to Collinsville is not using Incineroar or Alolan Ninetales or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about seeing those Pokemon there. But I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm all for these Pokemon coming into the meta. A lot of people are probably going to be hating on the Incineroar, bringing Incineroar back and this and that, and I'm just going to say I don't have a problem with it. I think that it's going to add something to the meta that's kind of going to shake things up a little bit and give us another meta shift that I think is about due, because we've been running these same rules for about a month and a half to 2 months now. And I haven't seen the meta shift a lot, really. And I don't think that Incineroar is going to be as broken as what people are thinking it's going to be. Now, yes, it is a better Arcanine, and Arcanine is the third most used Pokemon. But I don't think Incineroar is going to go anything up from there. I think it's probably going to stay the third most used Pokemon. Now, I want to go to VGC stats real quick and see if we can find some usage stats on their oh, actually we can talk about this right here. Here are the hidden ability Pokemon that are released with Pokemon Home 2. You get Friendcode, Clefairy, which is kind of good. I don't think it's going to be super great. You get Prankster, Meowstic, Prankster Liepard, Simple Swoobat, which you can kind of use for the memes. Other than that, you get, what else is there? Not a whole lot. Yeah, not really a whole lot outside of those three. But I want to see if we can find some usage stats. So right here, and what is this, Galar Weekly number 7? In Galar Weekly number 7, Arcanine was used 34%, right? Togekiss is up here at 43%, then you have T-Tar at 41%, Hydreigon at 35%. Now, I want to actually look at, like, why Arcanine is used so much. And if you look at these, this top row of Pokemon, it'll show you why Arcanine is used so much, right? It gets Snarl, it can hit Togekiss. It gets Intimidate to hit Excadrill T-Tar. It gets Snarl to hit Hydreigon, Intimidate to hit Conkeldurr, Will-O-Wisp to get T-Tar and Excadrill, right? Outside of that, what is Incineroar doing any different from Fake Out and U-Turn, right? Arcanine comes in turn 1 and it Snarls. That's pretty much it. Or it comes in and it Will-O-Wisp. Yes, Arcanine does get Snarl and it does get Will-O-Wisp, but for the most part, I don't think people were actually running those two moves. I think they were running a variation of things like a Fake Out, Darkest Lariat, U-Turn, and Flare Blitz, something like that. The main reason Incineroar was so prevalent last season is because there weren't a lot of checks to it, right? Like, if you think in a legendary format, Tapu Koko was everywhere last year. If Tapu Koko was in this meta right now, we would not see Milotic one bit. Milotic would be nowhere in this meta. But Milotic is everywhere right now because of Arcanine. I don't understand why people think that Milotic is just gonna go away, or any other Defiant user like Braviary or something like that. Arcanine has checks, and those same checks will check Incineroar, as well as Togekiss checks Incineroar. A big lead right now is Togekiss Grimmsnarl, right? You can lead that lead. Yeah, sure, they could fake out your Grimmsnarl turn 1 with Incineroar and intimidate your Togekiss, but at that point, what are they really doing? They might be carrying Snarl, but at that point, they're running the same thing that Arcanine is running. The only advantage that it gets is it gets U-Turn and it gets Parting Shot to have like a slow pivot where it doesn't have to hard switch, but really at that point, Togekiss gets Dazzling Gleam to deal with it. Arcanine gets Spirit Break to deal with it. I don't think Incineroar is going to be completely meta breaking like it was last season. Now, things last season, like you had Primal Groudon that could OHKO it and Primal Kyogre that could OHKO it, and that's pretty much, people are claiming those were the only checks to Incineroar last season, but I feel like with Dynamax, Fake Out got a little tiny nerf with Dynamax. I will say Fake Out is definitely still good. I don't think Fake Out is bad at all, even with Dynamax, but it's definitely still good. But it is worse than it was last year, 100%. And there's nothing here to give a major check to stuff like Milotic. Like, you have Gastrodon, maybe Rotoms or Rotom Cut, Rotom Wash, things like that. But you don't see a lot of electric types running around. There aren't a ton of like grass types running around from what I can see. I mean, like I said, there's Rotom and there's Whimsicott, but outside of that, nothing super duper special. And if we go back in the last couple weeks, right, you have Togekiss at 40%, Arcanine at 31% this week, right? Just keep going back and back and back. Arcanine right here, 39%, Togekiss 42%. So you see Arcanine's usage is sticking around in the 30% range, but I don't think Incineroar is going to be any more than that. I really don't think Incineroar is going to be more used than Togekiss. Even with Incineroar in this meta, if you can deal with Togekiss, you can deal with Incineroar. If Togekiss isn't meta breaking enough to where people are complaining about it, I don't think Incineroar is going to be it. The same with Arcanine. If Arcanine's not meta breaking enough to be able to deal with, I don't think Incineroar is going to be. And that's kind of my stance on the whole Incineroar thing. I think it's a healthy addition to this meta right now, and I think there are checks, especially once they release things like Gmax Lapras and stuff. I think there are definitely going to be checks to Incineroar. And like I was saying, Gigantamax and Dynamax makes one-shotting Incineroar a lot easier, right? You don't have to worry about like your move power, your move damage output is just insanely better. So overall, I don't think that these changes are going to really break the meta at all, but I think it is a conversation that we kind of need to get started going, because I know a lot of people from the 2019 Ultra Series, they're kind of dissing on the fact that Pokemon is letting these Pokemon into this format. Now, I didn't play Ultra Series. This is actually my first year playing VGC, so I don't really know, like, I don't have a predisposition against Incineroar, right? I'm only here with an unbiased view of how I think Incineroar is going to affect this meta. So that's kind of all it is. I thought this was an interesting topic. I kind of wanted to talk about it and get my thoughts about it out. So that's why I'm making this video. But I think that's probably where I'm going to lead it off. It's kind of a short one, but if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.